Alright everybody, welcome back. Last video we made a guy that can do some shooting, imaginary shooting for now. But this time we are going to focus on a car, getting a car going, because that's the other half of this game, right? So let's start by getting rid of these guys. Just turn them off for now. And put this animator window back in here. Alright, if you got errors down here, I usually do, so I just clear them because they don't affect the game. I don't know what they mean actually. If you'll notice down here in your sprites folder, you should have a new vehicle pack. Go ahead and open that. And we have all kinds of, that's from an old thing, did not work. A car pack that I got from unluckystudio.com. It was free. Thanks to them. If you don't have this, I'll leave a link to my project files below, or you can just unluckystudios.com and find it there. Alright. So we're going to pick one of these. I say this one. Aptly named car. And click on its import settings. Going to change pixels per unit to 128. Going to change bilinear filter mode to point. I want it to be exactly as it appears here. And apply. Now to come in here, I want to show you what I would normally do. Is I would take this door and cut it out in another program. Put it over here, make it a separate sprite. So you can animate him getting in and out. We might even do that later. Kind of cheat our way there somehow. Maybe put a black sprite over this. Put a door over that. Get it, you know. So you can just cut this out in another program. Move it over here and have two sprites. Alright. This will do just fine for now. We do want to move this just before the rear wheels. Maybe here. Make sure it's centered. If it's not, you can just click, put 0.5, and then apply. So before we drag that in, we're going to right click a hierarchy, create empty, and we're going to rename it to car rig. Just like we did our player. This is where you put the body and the door, so we can take our car, put it in here. And then you take your door and put it in there as well. Now that looks pretty small. Let me get our player out. Oh yeah. So let's go to this car. Change its scale to 2. It's much better. Alright. Say bye to him for now. We'll focus on the car. You're gonna click car rig, add component, new script, call it car control controller, and create and add. I've already done this. It ended up here in the assets folder, and I just dragged it into scripts. Alright, so let's open that up and get this thing going. So here in your car controller script, gonna need some variables. You can serialize them to show them in the inspector, but I just public, change it later. Public float. We're gonna need to know how fast it's going, or how fast we want it to go. We're going to need to know how fast we want it to turn. What else? We're going to need to know drift factor. I got this from Quill18 Creates. If you haven't seen that channel, he's very smart, very good at what he does. I'll leave a link below. And we're going to need a public float current drift factor, as well as a rigid body 2D, which we will call RB. It's just simple. And this runs off the physics engine, so we don't want to use update. We want to use void fixed update. I don't know what just happened there. Let me Control Z. Try that again. Fixed update. Why are you doing private? Delete. There we go. Void fixed update. So in here, we wanted to do something. So first we wanted to know what our rigid body is, because that's what we're going to affect. In start, say RB equals get component. Looking for a rigid body 2D. Alright, so it's just going to search itself for a rigid body 2D and call it RB. Now we can affect that. So we're going to say if W. No, that's not how it works at all. Input.getKey. So while we're holding down our W key, key code.w. If we hold down W, we want RB.add force. Like so. Wrong buttons. And we want it to be from transform dot up, car's facing up, so the Y axis. We want to multiply that times our speed. Alright. So we should be able to test that out just to get something going. Control S, hop back out, and we're going to need some things. Click on your car rig, add component. We're going to need a rigid body 2D. We want to turn gravity scale off, or else it'll fall. We're going to need a box collider 2D. And you're going to want to edit that collider. To just fit around your car, like so. About like that. Alright. What else? We're gonna need. Oh, why was the offset on? Offset 0, 0. What is happening there? Oh, this isn't centered. Okay, click car, 0 that out. I thought I did this. 0, 0, 0. Now, back to your box collider. And we'll fix it once again, no problems. Like so. Oh, like that. Then we want to take this, you guys should already have this, but I need to add my car controller back in. And I should be able to see it. Close some of this stuff. And we're going to set our speed to 10 for now. Let's see if that works. So press play. It takes off. Never to be seen again. Alright. So man makes car go. Man needs to make car stop now. Let's do that. If, you know what? Let's just copy paste. Coder's best friend, right? Copy. Paste. Change this to an S. Change this to negative. So we're just going to do the opposite. Control S. See if that works. In theory, it should behave like brakes. So we go forward, stop, forward, stop. Now I don't like that. A lot of games do this. You just back up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say if we're pressing S and that's not an and symbol, and our velocity, well, our v dot velocity is greater than 0, and that's because you can't do a vector and a float. Vector, float, okay. So we'll just say dot x, I believe it's x. Okay, so our velocity dot x, actually it would be y. I think it'd be y in 2D space. Let's try that out. We only want to hit the brakes if we're moving. Yeah, there you go. Stops the car. Alright. So, where do we go from there? We're going to turn. We need to be able to turn. So, if, well, again, I don't know why I keep doing this. We can just Control V from last time. Now if we press A, actually I take that back. I don't want to do it with buttons like this. Let's say if our RB.velocity is not equal to vector 3.0. Right, we want 2, it's 2D, 2. There we go. So for moving forward or backward, but not standing still. We want to be able to turn. Okay. Then I want to add force, but I want input, and we're going to do get axis raw. And we're going to do the horizontal. And this will just kind of look for A or D, basically. So if we get to axis horizontal, we're going to multiply it by our turn speed, like so. And it's mad because we're trying to add force, but we don't want force. We want torque, aka a rotation. Alright? And we're probably, just guessing here, probably going to need to put a negative because it's usually backwards. But we can try this. Let's go to Control S, save that, head back, and let's make a turn speed of, I don't know, 5. Test that out. Left and right does nothing, but it sure does when you go. Alright? Try that again. Really need to pull this camera back some. Let's do that. Camera size. Let's go out. Like so. Alright. So when we go, it's driving on ice. Alright, this is like Vaughn getting junior type stuff. So to control that, we're going to make something called a drift factor. Alright? There's a couple things we need to know to control drift. We need to know how fast we're going forward and how fast we're sliding to the right. To do that, we're going to make a couple functions to find that out. One's going to be called vector 2. Going to be our forward velocity. Like so. And we want it to return our transform.up times vector 2 dot between our RB dot velocity and our transform dot up. It should give us our velocity, how fast we're going. Alright? So you can take this and you can simply copy paste to get your right velocity or right word, is that a thing? Right word velocity? It's the same, and it's the same thing. You just take right and right. Okay, so now we know how fast we're going up, we know how fast we're going right, and using those calculations we can determine if we're drifting and correct it. And I'll show you how. So every frame we're going to update that velocity. RB.velocity equals forward velocity plus rightward velocity times drift factor. Current. We want current drift factor. Current drift factor. There we go. Now we're good. Control S. Let's go test that out. So I can demonstrate, if you go to your car rig and change this current drift factor to, it's going to be between 0 and 1. So let's say you make it 0.8, you know, and you'll see that it gets pretty slippy. You know, it's like a drift car. I want to permanently set this back so we can see. What you end up with is when it's high versus low. So if we go down here and we put it to 0.1, it's either going to get very sticky or very drifty. I think it's going to go the other way. There's less drift, so it should be just super IndyCar. Yeah, you can see it doesn't slide. It just sticks the road like this. Alright. So what you do is you dynamically change this. And my car has disappeared, didn't it? You dynamically bounce between the two. Super drifty, super sticky. You know, the slower you go, the stickier your car is, unless you just have hit drift mode. Okay. So this is what I come up with to do this in the update function here. I'm going to say that if you rb dot, wait, need an if rb dot velocity dot y greater than 10. Let's just say 10. Going faster than the speed of 10, or with or you do these things. So, or input dot get key or if we get key code dot left shift. We press left shift. If we hold down left shift, or we're going faster than, let's say, 10, you'll figure this out by your own calculations, or however fast you want your car to go. I'm gonna say if it goes above 10, it's going fast, so it's gonna be slippery. And or left shift, that's my e-brake. Okay, if I pull that e-brake, then we want current drift factor to be 1. Full on drift mode. Alright. Otherwise, if your current drift factor, wait, I need else if your current drift factor is greater than your drift factor, then your current drift factor is going to degrade? Minus equals, let's say 0.001. Just this is going to start gradually dropping. But what about if we need to separate these? Let's do Control X to cut that out of there. Make this its own thing. Control V. We want this to be its own function here. There we go. Control X. Control V. There. Otherwise, then we want to check this. If this does this. Oh, come on, man. Here we go. And else current drift factor equals drift factor. That's just so it can't go lower. You know what I mean? Because this will make it keep going below. So once it hits 0, then just set it at this. Does that make sense? Otherwise this would just keep going and be lower than drift factor. If it ever gets lower, we just want it to be that. Alright? Let's hit Control S. Head back out. Set our drift factor to 0.85, I think. That sounds good to me. Test it out. There you go. You can see if as you go faster, and slow, it'll definitely hug. If you go fast, it slides. My computer is so slow, but it's trying. Alternatively, if you just were to crank that e-brake, you can drift all over the place. Good way to test this would just be to create 2D object, sprite. Basically, we're just going to make some cones. So let's do knob. None. I wanted knob. There, knob. Leave them white. And just put them out there somewhere, just so we have some reference points. Control D, make a couple of them. So you can see where the car is going. You could kind of see if you had like a track or something that just gives you some kind of visual clue as to where the car is going, and then you can put your camera on it and it'll follow the car around. Actually, I don't like it spinning with the car, so let's make a script for that. Let's go to main camera, take it out of the car, stop it, and we'll just go to add component, new script, we're going to call it cam control. Probably put it in the assets folder, drag it to your scripts, and then we can edit it. So for this, we're gonna have a public. Sorry, I don't have any lighting in here to see. Public game object target. Yeah, that'll work. It should be all we need. And then in the update, we will say vector transform dot position equals vector 2 dot lerp, which just means move from point A to point B, and we want it to lerp from transform dot position to target dot transform dot position. By, really would do your speed, so you could say speed. We'd have to make up here. Public float speed. That's going to be a number between 0 and 1. So from whatever our position is to the target's position, do that all the time. I think that's what we want. Let's try it. Control S, go back out, go find the main camera. See its script here. I'll go ahead and give it a point. We'll start with 5 right in the middle. And it wants its object to follow. We're gonna call it car rig for now. And again, in code you would follow switch from player to car and vice versa, but let's test it. Where is the camera? It's on our car rig, yet we can't see it. Why we can't see it? It's here now. Oh, because it's moving down. The position is a 3D space, so it's doing like it's pulling the camera towards the screen too. We don't want that. Let's make a vector 2 to purpose, and that's gonna be purpose equals transform dot position. Purpose to that too and convert it to new pause. New pause by the speed. That's all we want to do. Here to here it is. A new pause always needs updated too. New pause equals. It's really just doing the same thing I just did though. Target.transform.position. It's really the same way of saying what I just did in here. See if it does anything. If we click here, we can see the car right here. Press play. It's gone, and I don't understand why. What if we do 150? The clipping planes. That brought those into perspective. Let's just say it moved up to -10. Still don't see the car. Why does it not see the car? These are on level 0. Let's put the car on 0 too. Okay. I don't know what was happening, but let's just put the car on 0 and run with it. Now you can see that, again, you gotta play with these numbers. And I've already lost where I was. But anyway, that's gonna do it for this weekend. Time's already up. Next weekend we're gonna work on getting our character to animate in and out of this car. And just so I can show you the drift effect. And again, this car is gone because we did it in the game. But yeah, so just change the car to 0. Hold on, let's do it outside. Main camera, clipping plane. Needs to be 0. Car rig needs to be at 0. Play. I feel like maybe for this car the sprite center needs to be moved back a little. Yeah. Maybe put it right between the rear wheels. Otherwise you can rip it. You can go regular line. It's a start. We'll put in the rest of the handling later. Alright, I hope you guys got somewhere, some kind of understanding. I definitely do this the rough way. I'm just figuring it out as I go. Alright? Well, thank you guys again, taking time out of your days to watch this. Hopefully it's helping you make the game you want to make. Once you get a base, you might be able to find better systems than I have. I'm definitely not a professional by any means. But yeah, thanks guys. Let me know what you'd like to see, add, change, and see what we can do. Alright? Take it easy.